Hey, Pastor Joe. This is a video response to your cool video you put out. By the way, awesome, awesome beginning of the video there. You had a suspenseful and watching you walk in. It was awesome. I also really think that lifestyle is pretty cool. I use a little tea bag or sachet that cleans out my bottle of water, but I'd love to have that. So I started thinking, well, could I possibly get some points and maybe win this thing? I don't know a thing about septic systems, but I thought, I was in the military too, and I like a good challenge, and you know how us military people think. So I'm hoping that this information will at least help you. I personally started thinking, man, maybe I need a little bit more information. Maybe you could give us a little bit of the layout of the land, where the draws and valleys are. We could get a little more precise if you really want to go there. There's an idea for you. So I started investigating, and he said it was in the Ozarks. And the first thing that I came up with, and that we obviously have to pay attention, is a lot of pollution, obviously, right? Um, Apparently, there's already a problem there in the Ozarks with pollution. So I just kind of figured, well, if I went and did some research and did a little investigation, maybe I can help you out. So obviously, yeah, pollution is a big thing there in the Ozarks already. And I came across this article that explained a little bit about it. And then I came across some helpful information that would hopefully be able to assist you in your journey there. This is traditionally what they find to be the problem. I figured, well, if you want to create something good, right, or something especially like what you're talking about, let's find out what they have now and what the flaws are or what the problems are. So that's what I plan to bring to you. So I found this PDF, some information at jeffco.us. Just talking about right here, just shows a historic subdivision and the lay of the land and how it actually the land rolls north, and the circle itself is about on a 70-acre spread. That's obviously more than what we're dealing with, but just to kind of give you an idea, um, where the terrain is really matters, obviously, right? And I'm sure you know that. So I'm not sure how the land flows, whether you're completely on a hill or how the six houses are being laid out. I know that you've been asking for video responses and stuff, being overseas and everything on how people live and how much space they need in front yards and backyards. So I really don't know any of that. Again, however, I did take at least take some time to find out some of the problems that were there so that we could address those and make sure that we didn't have those same problems. Number one being pollution. Number two, the rain and drain off ditches, the way that they're actually created, especially from back in what our technology used to be. On the left here is a typical like sewage storm drain that we typically see that runs right into the side of normally the roads that they lay. And that's kind of what the first prelude to that information that we were looking at says. But as you see here in the picture off to the right, it leads for a lot of erosion, and if any of this goes into a public water source, then we also have a lot of contaminants and pollution to worry about as well. So in this information, it talks about decreased intensity and things of that nature, and again, the lay of the land and how it's actually going to be sitting. Um, you know, Obviously you're saying it's the Ozarks, so it's probably more mountainous than this here, but if we come down here a little further, I found something that you may want to at least have or be taken into consideration. So let's say, for example, this is one of the houses. Obviously, this is typical. This is information actually coming from Colorado. I lived there in Colorado. I know it's kind of mountainous and stuff, but these are just diagrams showing you on the left here, obviously, the flow pipe coming down and then at an angle to come down. And then they have trenches here, perforated pipe. Now on the right here you see a little bit more of a picture here. I'm not sure what all this is. This looks like the water keep the place from eroding and such, and a bunch of rocks. As we go further down, the cool thing that I thought that I would show you is some of the newer things to kind of like prevent again, some of the rain out or fallout and rainwater washout and erosion is wherever, depending on the lay of the land and all that good jazz, wherever these pipes are coming out, you want to consider some kind of cistern is what it's called, I believe. And then around wherever the culvert flow is going to be, they're showing it to be very effective to have large rocks. It says here large rocks placed around that culvert will mature into vegetated detention area, and it'll help actually prevent the whole meadow from turning into a eroded canyon. So that's the information that I found, and again, it just kind of depends, really, right, on the lay of the land and how everything's going to be laid out. It'd be great if we could have some more information and we could get even more in depth, if you like. But again, I don't know anything about septic's system, but I at least figured, hey, I do like that water filtration straw, so I at least take a stab at it, right? But there's some good information in here. I thought that that might be helpful to you. Just a few things to consider and stuff, and I'll leave the link down there. Also, by the way, I left you a comment that you can actually put links in the description area so that people can click on them. And I'll also go back and re-promote that because I looked at that pin up for that website that you were asking, and it's a $20 value, so that's kind of cool that you're giving that out, and I really appreciate the chance of winning that. So here's my couple of points. Hopefully that helps, and thanks for your time and your contest.